Hello goldfish, squids and other lovely sea creatures, I'm Octopus and today we are gonna see the Alexander Nevsky, the so-called light cruiser from the Russian branch, the tier 10 one. But first thing first guys, as always, if you find those videos entertaining or interesting, please consider subscribing to the channel in order to support me. I recently opened this channel on YouTube and on Twitch as well, and I'm looking forward to grow up, and so if you can leave me a sub, I will really much appreciate that. Let me see one thing. Okay. So, Nevsky. Nevsky is a so-called light cruiser, even if not a lot of things are light of this thing. You have four twin turrets or 180 millimeters guns. Your base reload is 6 seconds, okay? And you can cut it down to 5.3 if you take the reload mod on the last upgrade slot. Your range is insanely good, 19 kilometers by default, even if your long range dispersion is somewhat questionable. we will go back to this in a bit. Your concealment is 12.8 kilometers with the full concealment build, which I highly recommend. And with this build you have, with the full stealth build you have you have worse concealment than Petropavlovsk, which is the heavy cruiser, which doesn't make too much sense in my opinion, but whatever. If you want to take a look at the Petropavlovsk, I will leave you the link to my review of that ship as well, if you can find it in the right upper corner of the screen right now. Speed, you have 37.8 knots maximum speed with speed flag, okay? So you are not a slow cruiser, absolutely. Your turn cycle radius is not great at 940 meters. Actually, it is quite garbage. You have a radar, of course. As you can see, there is our Harugumo is a bit confused in the in-game chat about which Russian cruisers have radar or not. He thinks that even Smolensk has a radar, but of course it doesn't. But whatever. I was saying we do have access to the Russian radar, which is 12 kilometers of range. In this case, it is not a short duration radar like Petropavlovsk one. It is a long lasting radar. And if you slot the radar upgrade, you can have 36 duration of your radar. So this means that if you catch a destroyer in your radar range with your incredibly good reload, you can absolutely rack up destroyers. Firing angles are not the best, but they are not bad either. So in this sense, you are worse than Petropavlovsk. But as you can see here, what Nevsky does, it is spamming HE from medium to long range, and your fire chance is quite decent. I don't remember exactly the value. We can check this in port at the end of this video, as always, guys. But as you can see, the amount of shells that you can throw out in a short amount of time, it is insanely good. Also, the fact that you have typical Russian shell speed, it means that it is a relatively easy to just land multiple shells and in a consistent way on battleships, especially. So you are one of the best fire starter in the game so far. So this is a replay taken from my stream on Twitch, and I was wondering why I don't see too many people ranting about the Nevsky being added to the game. I'm not sure why, because Nevsky is a quite toxic ship in my opinion, because it is fairly, the range is insanely good, the reload is exceptionally good, even if the HE alpha is not too great, but the firing chance, it is amazing. So with the sheer amount of shells that you can pump out, you're gonna start fires left, right and center on every battleship in the game basically. So I'm not sure why I don't see too many people ranting about this ship. Maybe not everyone understood how powerful and how easy it is to farm damage in this thing. I don't know. As you just saw, we also have access to torpedoes, unlike Petropavlovsk. We do have two X5 launchers, one per side. And these torpedoes, unlike the usual Russian torpedoes on cruisers, they are not 4 kilometers, but they are 8 kilometers of range, which are much more usable than the usual Soviet torpedoes. They deal 14.4 K alpha per torpedo, which is very standard for the Russian ships. Nevsky, thanks to the torpedoes, has also a quite decent YOLO potential, in the sense that you can YOLO someone because you do have access to an icebreaker as well. You in fact have 50 millimeters of an icebreaker in the lower part of your nose. So this means that at super close range, and I mean even at medium range, it is not that easy to front Citadel and Nevsky for a battleship. Yes, you do have a quite sizable upper part of your nose coated in 25 millimeters of armor. But once again, it is not that easy to punch through that part and Citadel you, especially at close range. It is easy to get some juicy pens and deal massive damage, but not to get those Citadels. So in this sense, Nevsky has also an amazingly good YOLO potential, YOLO power. So I mean, the rest of the deck armor is 30 millimeters, and the side armor is 25, if I'm not mistaken. We can check the armor scheme at the Nevsky import at the end of the video as well. So what you see me doing here is just spamming HE, but this doesn't mean that the AP are to be underestimated on this light cruiser, because actually the AP are very good at medium to close range. You can easily Citadel cruisers if they are broadsiding you, and even battleships. If you are facing close range battleships that are giving you the broadside, you can easily load AP and do massive damage to them. You are not going to Citadel them, of course, but you can still pump out a huge firepower, and you can easily get juicy volleys with AP as well. So don't stick with HE all the time, because once again, in cruisers you want to switch to AP when it's the right moment. In Nevsky, you are gonna spam HE the vast majority of the time, no doubt on this. But once again, don't underestimate the AP, and we are gonna see that the AP are also valuable during this battle. So speaking of the actual match, here I'm switching to AP. In fact, even if Venezia is not the best target to shoot at on this range with AP, he's also angling, so we are not gonna do any kind of decent damage to him. So he's also angling, so no way we are gonna deal any damage to this guy. I'm trying to see if I can ambush the Smolensk, but he's angling away out as well. So you need to have the perfect broadside to actually get some decent volleys on cruisers. So do not expect I don't know, Stalingrad improved penetration angles or something like this. You need broadside to be effective with AP. So as I was saying, in this battle we are down one ship, and we are equal as caps, but we know that we have to do something. In this specific case, we know that we have to secure a couple of kills on this flank in order to actually claw back the disadvantage that we have by points. So I'm kind of pushing the Smolensk, the Yoshino, and the Venezia. The Venezia is kind of low HP. Smolensk is smoked up. Yoshino is stationary there. So we know that we can actually do something here, something valuable for our team here, and we are gonna try to do that. I don't know what to say. Sorry about that. Nevsky, in my opinion, is the ultimate definition of super long range. I mean, not super long range, but long range HE spamming cruisers. And definitely, once again, not a good addition to the game. I'm sorry to repeat myself, but a lot of the latest ships added to the game, especially at high tiers, are not a healthy addition for the game, in my opinion. Why? Because they do not encourage actively aggressive gameplay. if you have a couple of Nevskys on your flank and you want to push in a battleship, it is a fucking nightmare because they are gonna constantly spam you with HE all the time, and you're gonna have such a hard time getting any value out of your push. So like Slava and other ships being added to the game, they discourage actually aggressive gameplay, and this is not what we need to be added to the game. We actually need more ships that actually encourage aggressive gameplay, not those passive long-range HE spamming cruisers that are a pain to deal with for literally anyone. So in this case, we secured the kill on the Venezia. I'm looking forward to this to actually deal with this Smolensk. We are spamming him with HE since he is angled. The moment he gives us broadside, we are gonna switch to AP, and we are gonna happily shoot at him because he's about to give us almost complete broadside, and this is triple citadel and he's dead. So as you can see, from close range, medium to close range, do not underestimate the AP power. Absolutely don't do it. So we got rid of the Venezia and the Smolensk now, and we are now in the lead, even if the battle is not over yet by far. We racked up already 130k almost damage, which is already a respectable result. Nothing really amazing, but it is already respectable. And we're looking forward to just rack up some more damage, because why not? Here we have a Thunder that is pushing. This is the only battleship that you have left on this flank, and it is not exactly the best battleship to actually push, since they have a Kremlin. Okay, the Kremlin was spotted on the other side of the map, so we do know that we have some space here. As you can see, there is this Yamato at 19 point something kilometers away from us, and he's already in range for us. At 19 kilometers, he's already in range of this so-called light cruiser, okay? And we can already start the HE spam on this guy. Here I was a little bit afraid of the Des Moines. He wasn't spotted in a long time, and there he is. So we know that we have to stop shooting and get into a kiting position, because if I go forward and I proceed in this harassing of the Yamato, I know that the Des Moines will have my flank open and my broadside, so it is not what we want. Nevsky Citadel is sizable, and it is not that difficult to actually hit if you give broadside. So even also we have to respect the Des Moines AP penetration. So absolutely don't even try to duel against the Des Moines giving him broadside. You are not near. I mean, you're gonna be wrecked. So in this case, what we do is just taking a kiting position, and we keep spamming this Yamato that repaired a fire previously. Without IFHE, we are not able to actually penetrate the battleship's armor, but we are gonna still be able to penetrate their superstructures and to start fires. I tried the Nevsky also with IFHE, but I don't think it is worthy, because you lose so much fire turns, and you don't get that good of a penetration with your HE to just compensate. So I find out that speccing out of IFHE it is much more valuable. So yes, there will be some cases in which you will find yourself lacking IFHE, but in most of the cases, what you want to see in Nevsky is just fires. And having IFHE, it is gonna cripple down your fire chance so much that it is not gonna be a viable trade in this sense. So my recommendation is to spec out of IFHE, but we will take a look at the captain at the end of this video, as always, in the port. So we secured the kill on the Yamato, we scared away the Conqueror, and now we are just repositioning ourselves. I'm not sure why that monitor is actually pinging me. He is saying what the fuck, and he's pinging me. I'm not sure what he's expecting from me to do. I did my job in this game. We even tanked 1.6 million potential damage. So Nevsky is also one of the tankiest light cruisers in the game, absolutely. So once again, not so many things are light about this cruiser, even if Wargaming is listing this cruiser as light. Even the 50 millimeters icebreaker in the front, it doesn't really remind me of any other light cruiser in the game, but whatever. At this point, we are left 6 against 3. We know that this Conqueror is just running for her life. The Demon is stuck there at the beginning of the channel. So we know that this victory is secured, so there is no way we're gonna lose this. And even if the Thunder is going down apparently, we know that we don't have any way of actually losing this game unless some super major potato moves happen, which is always a chance. Never underestimate your teammates' potato-ness. They can always surprise you with the dumbest move ever, but I don't think in this game it will happen actually. So here our Smolensk is farming the Des Moines. We want to we do want a piece of the cake as well, so we jump in and we start farming the Des Moines as well. Insta fire. As you can see, we are still able to penetrate the Des Moines armor even without IFHE. So in this sense, we don't actually need IFHE to penetrate cruisers. So the only thing that you don't penetrate with your 180s are battleships armor. But once again, with battleships you can deal pretty well, spamming them from the long range distance and starting fires. So here I was looking from this Variety Expert Kremlin, but he's gonna die from a torpedo apparently, Yoshino torpedoes for the win. And at this moment we know that there is only that Conqueror left. What you see me doing here is just provoking the Conqueror into shooting me. I'm just revealing myself. I'm making myself being spotted because I want that Conqueror to actually shoot me, because I want to farm more damage. We are only at 171k damage, and I do want that Conqueror to actually shoot me to get herself spotted. So that was a very greedy move for me, but I did want to have more damage. There he is. Conqueror takes the bait. He shoots me with AP, and Conqueror long range dispersion is quite questionable, and in return he's gonna eat some damage. Insta fire, Confederate and Wither at the same time almost. So the bait was actually the bait worked absolutely fine, and here we can start doing what we did previously. We just farm some damage on this poor Conqueror. Yes, she has the super heal, as you can see. She is healing, she is printing a new ship, but at this moment I was just interested in farming more damage because I'm a greedy bastard. I will admit it. So whenever I see a Conqueror, I really want to farm her with HE, because it is just nice to give the Conqueror some kind of payback. Even if this Conqueror seems to be knowing about AP, surprisingly enough. But once again, her dispersion is terrible. It is not a Thunder, so we know that we are going to be able to farm her. As you can see, from 171k damage, you are already well past 200k, just because I just made myself spotted by shooting in the open. And yeah, and that's the end of this battle. Basically, nothing more to say here. So these are the final results of this battle. 211k damage in the end. 3 citadels on that Smolensk, 18 fires, only 2 kills. Wither and Confederate, 380 hits actually. 2.5 almost k base experience. Well done to our Yoshino and to the Harugumo. And I mean, that was a solid team performance, I would say. So GG to our team as well, once in a while. As you can see from the distribution of the damage, we farmed basically Yamato, Conqueror, Kurfürst, Kremlin, and a couple of cruisers. So we tanked almost 2 million. We have almost 2 million potential damage, and 145k damage upon our spotting. I'm not exactly sure how. As you can see, the vast majority of the damage came from our HE, but a big chunk came from our fires. So 72k damage from fires. So, and a couple of AP as well, 28k from AP. So you always have to mix in HE and AP in Nevsky. So do not underestimate AP. So in this particular game, we didn't use too much AP, and we even didn't use basically our radar. But this was because there were only a couple of destroyers, and yeah, we didn't need to. But Nevsky radar can be really, really nasty if you catch a destroyer off guard. So keep this in mind as well. Final credit earnings. Nothing special to say here. Nevsky is a silver ship, so do not expect anything extremely special. But Nevsky can give you the opportunity to farm easily a big chunk of damage if played properly. So take it into consideration if you want to level up some captains and for switching the captains for another ship in the future. So keep this in mind as well. So this is our Nevsky. Let's start with the equipment as always. Here you want to take Hydro. You have a normal Hydro of 5 km detection for ships, 3.5 for torpedoes. Do not bother with defensive AA. Even if Nevsky AA is decent, it is okay, let's say. It is slightly worse than the Petropavlovsk one, so you can pretty much defend yourself against tier 8 CVs. Tier 10 CVs will not have any kind of issue dropping you, but they will lose some planes on the way, at least this. So then upgrade turrets and torpedo tube survival, absolutely. Here you want to go for some wait, what the fuck is that plane? Okay, never mind, I was hearing some weird noises in the background. So here I was saying surveillance radar modification 1 if you have it, for extra duration of your radar consumable. If you don't have this, go for engine room protection, because when you're kiting, it can happen that somebody can knock out your stern, for example, with AP or even with HE. So absolutely, this is, I think, better than damage control system modification 1 on Nevsky at least. Here I go for aiming system modification 1. As I said, long range dispersion on the Nevsky guns, it is kind of questionable, even if your reload makes up for it. So I go for but improved dispersion. Turret reverse of those turrets is 19.1, which is not impressive but not bad, considering that you are a cruiser. So if you want, you can even go for this one, but honestly, since you're spamming from such a long range, usually I find this upgrade to be much more beneficial than this one. Here I go for propulsion. You can go for steering gears as well. Maneuverability is not the best part of Nevsky, absolutely. So rudder shift time 11.5, it is quite bad. So absolutely, steering gears modification 1 can be viable, absolutely, but I find propulsion modification 1 to be more suited for my gameplay. Here, of course, concealment. You can try to go for steering gears modification 2 if you really want to spam for maximum range and be a little bit more agile for the memes. But I don't know, maybe yes, but if you slot this one in instead of concealment, your concealment is going to be 14.2, which is literally Moskva level of concealment, and you're not that maneuverable. So I'm not sure. So maybe if you want to give it a try, go for it, but I don't see any kind of value out of that instead of concealment. And here, of course, main battery modification 3 for better reload. Don't go for main battery, for this gunfire control system modification 2. Yes, you can get an incredible range of 22.1 kilometers. And you have decent shell travel time. So the shell velocity is 1000 meters per second, initial velocity at least, but I don't think it is valuable. Having more GPM and 19 kilometers of range, it is more than enough. And so I don't know, if you really want, give it a try, but not worth in my opinion. Captain wise, of course, if you have Kuznetsov available, go for Kuznetsov, even if it is better suited for heavy cruisers and battleships, in my opinion. But still, Kuznetsov is by far the best captain on every Soviet ship in the game, in my opinion. So if you have it, go for it. This is actually my old captain for Moskva, I think. So my recommended build for Nevsky is Priority Target, Adrenaline Rush, Superintendent, Concealment Expert. Then I would go for Demolition Expert for some more fire chance. Then Excellent Marksman, Expert Loader, and with the last 3 points, honestly, I don't know. I go for, this was, as I said, the old captain for Moskva. So basic survivability was useful because you come under a lot of HE spam with Moskva. It is not that useful on Nevsky, honestly. So you might switch this for example, Jack of all trades and I don't know, preventive maintenance. These 3 points. This is kind of wasted on Nevsky. Also, if you really want, you can go. You can try IFHE or even RPF. So if you want to switch this skill for and this one for a 4-point skills, you can go for IFHE. But as I said, your penetration of the guns, it is 30 millimeters, which is basically every cruiser knows at least, and deck armor besides Puerto Rico, Stalingrad, Moskva, and stuff like this. So other than this, every single cruiser in the game you can farm it. So not really too much not too beneficial to run IFHE, since you get 37 millimeters of penetration, so you don't cross 38, which is US battleships deck armor. So absolutely not worth in my book going for IFHE on Nevsky. So as I said, you can go for fire prevention or RPF if you really want another 4-point skill. But I find this build to be okay. You might even fancy about last stand if it happens to you to lose a lot to your rudder shift, your rudder while you're kiting. But Nevsky rudder, it is not as squishy as the French one, so you don't really need last stand. So my recommended build would be this, but switch this for Jack of all trades and preventive maintenance. So flags, let's see, nothing special here to mention. Heal, more speed, faster consumables, more AA, more firing chance, because with this build, with Demolition Expert and the flags, you can reach 17% firing chance, which is absolutely great, considering that you have 8 guns that fill in 5.3 seconds. And if you add on top of this AR, you can get an idea of how good of an HE starter you are in this thing. So even if the HE shell damage, it is quite poor at 2.5k base, you rely on fires, not actually the HE penetration, okay? So HE fire damage, it is what you want to see. On top of this, you can mix in whatever you want: detonation flag, ramming flag, reduction in fires, reduction in floodings, whatever you want. But these 3 are mandatory, and these 2 as well. AA is flavor, and whatever you want to mix in, on top of this, it is flavor as well. So let me check the armor scheme. As you can see, you have this part of the nose coated in 25 millimeters, and this is farmable from every single battleship that you are gonna face, except Odin, of course. And this is the icebreaker I was talking about, 50 millimeters of an icebreaker. So at close range, as you can see, the icebreaker actually protects this part of the protects your citadel, that is this part here. As you can see, the citadel is quite sizable and it stands way above the waterline. So if you give broadside in this thing, you can easily get devastated. Okay, so don't give broadside in the Nevsky, absolutely. But once again, if you are close range, this part here protects you from getting citadel from close range when you are nose in. When you are medium to long range, plunging fire can absolutely plunge in and get into the citadel, and you can get citadel from the front. Absolutely, but from medium to close range, it is not that likely to happen. So this was my Nevsky commentary, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you liked it. If you did, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment down below if you want. Share the video with your friends, and if you want to support me, once again, remember to subscribe to the channel, and I will leave you in the description of the video my link to Twitch and Discord. If you want to keep in touch with me, you are more than welcome to join. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time.